Welcome to Live Economic News. Today, we're diving into the intricacies. Why is Argentina seemingly caught in a cycle of financial instability? Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell to stay informed on all things economic. Addressing the issue at hand, the man featured, likely the future president of Argentina, is none other than Milei, a proponent of unbridled liberalism. In this video, he advocates for significant cuts in public spending, the legalization of organ trafficking, and the abolition of the Central Bank of Buenos Aires. To gain a more comprehensive understanding of Milei, check out the recently edited podcast episode on the history of geopolitics. This discussion provides a more complete picture of his views and proposals, including the radical idea of eliminating any development that doesn't take center stage. I'll leave the comments to you, but Argentina's relationship with economic turmoil, specifically the recurring issue of bank failures, has been both tumultuous and enduring. The distressing reality is that Argentina, unable to meet its debt obligations to finance its policies, has declared bankruptcy or defaulted 9 times, with 3 occurrences in the last 2 decades alone. Notably, Buenos Aires has sought assistance from the International Monetary Fund, IMF, on 22 occasions, accumulating a staggering debt of nearly $50 billion, which constitutes a third of the total funds currently lent globally by the IMF. To put the economic challenges in perspective, Argentina is grappling with a soaring inflation rate, currently reaching a staggering 124%, causing the national currency, the peso, to depreciate significantly. In comparison, Italy's inflation hovers between 5 and 6%, emphasizing the severity of Argentina's economic predicament, with almost 40% of its population living below the poverty line. Argentina's current economic challenges may be rooted in its historical economic volatility. In the early 20th century, Argentina ranked among the wealthiest nations globally, boasting a per capita income on par with Switzerland, France, and Germany. The key to its prosperity lay in its vast and fertile land. Since the 16th century, Spanish colonists had settled expansively in the uninhabited and fertile territories of the Pampas and the Great Plains, establishing proto-companies known as estancias. Even after the colonial era ended in 1816, these lands and livestock remained in the hands of the estancieros' descendants. In subsequent decades, meat, sheep, and cattle became significant exports, with Argentinians developing a strong preference for meat. This preference caught the attention of the English, who, eager to break free from Spanish domination and fuel their own economic growth, sought to engage with Argentina. The early Argentine presidents looked to London as a source of economic development, further intertwining the fate of the two nations. The United Kingdom emerged as Argentina's favored business partner, and to underscore their amicable relations, significant concessions were granted. Foremost among these was the permission for the United Kingdom to exploit Argentina's natural resources and freely export their goods to the country without any restrictions. Additionally, the British secured complete control over the port of Buenos Aires and the newly established Central Bank of Argentina. For this partnership to thrive, Argentina needed to enhance its port facilities and urban water systems. Fueled by liberal fervor in 1824, the Argentine government sought a loan of 570,000 British pounds from the London credit institution Baring Brothers Bank. However, the exorbitant interest rates elevated the repayment amount to a staggering 1 million sterling, surpassing the nation's long-standing export of meat to England. By 1827, Buenos Aires found itself unable to meet its debt obligations, leading to the declaration of a broken bank just over a decade after gaining independence. Despite the financial challenges, the debt was eventually settled, marking the beginning of Argentina's complex relationship with indebtedness. However, over the course of 40 years, Argentina found itself seeking new loans to finance 2 wars. One fought alongside Brazil and Uruguay in Paraguay, and the other aimed at conquering Patagonia, still inhabited by native populations at the time. Initially, the expansion southward worked in favor of the state coffers, providing access to new fertile lands. In 1876, Argentina opened its doors to European migrants, selling plots at incredibly low prices minus 20 cents per hectare by 1882. This influx of migrants, including an estimated 2 million Italians, contributed to Argentina's agricultural and livestock sectors. By 1898, Buenos Aires had sold over 6 million hectares. Notably, approximately 60% of the current Argentine population can trace some lineage back to Italy, as seen in surnames like Messi, Maradona, Bergoglio, and Meli. This demographic shift led to a booming production of meat and agricultural products, attracting British investors, particularly Baring Brothers Bank. The bank not only strengthened the Argentine railway system, but also played a key role in establishing meatpacking plants. In coastal regions, strategic infrastructure development facilitated the transportation of meat from the Pampas to Buenos Aires, allowing it to be frozen and distributed throughout the Commonwealth. However, dispelling a popular myth, the renowned Black Angus, often lauded as Argentina's quintessential cattle breed, actually originates from the Scottish Angus breed, first imported into Argentina in 1879. The arrangement between England and Argentina seems straightforward. England provides the funds and Argentina invests in infrastructure, a seemingly beneficial arrangement for both parties. However, a critical oversight reminiscent of the 1827 default emerged. Argentina, heavily reliant on English imports, particularly coal, textile products, and machinery for agriculture, had yet to establish its own industrial sector. This dependence became problematic when gold payments for these imports exceeded the earnings generated from meat exports. The year 1890 marked a turning point, highlighting the consequences of Argentina's unbalanced economic structure. Buenos Aires faced insolvency, leading to its second bank failure, highlighting the risks of relying solely on a single income source, such as meat exports. This principle applies not only to nations, but also to personal investments. For instance, placing all savings in a conventional account with 5% inflation could result in a 22% loss after 5 years and a 39% loss after 10 years. Diversifying investments is crucial, and Scalable Capital, the sponsor of this video, provides a safe and regulated platform for such diversification. Whether you're a millionaire or a novice, Scalable Capital allows you to build a customized portfolio by securely investing in ETF shares and funds. The process is simple. Register for free, create your portfolio, and choose from various investment options with costs less than a tenth of traditional banks. To explore the benefits of Scalable Capital, click the link in the description and select the Prime Plus plan, starting from just €1. Analyze your portfolio thoroughly, receive regular updates, and enjoy returns without being eroded by high commissions. Now, back to Argentina in the early decades of the 20th century. The presidents of Argentina eventually grasped the necessity of diversification. Over 15 years of austerity and reduced imports, the government fostered the growth of the national manufacturing sector, converting spaces back to agriculture. This shift increased national incomes, enabling some urban dwellers to afford cars. However, genuine problems emerged during World War II, with a lack of imports from the United Kingdom causing economic crisis, unemployment, poverty, and social unrest. In 1943, a group of officers, led by Juan Domingo Perón, staged a decisive coup, marking a significant turning point in Argentina's economic history. Perón, inspired by Mussolini and implementing corporatist policies, became a pivotal figure in Argentine politics. During his presidency from 1946 to 1955, Perón nationalized industries, initiated a 5-year plan, and introduced welfare policies. His era, known as Peronism, became a dominant political ideology in Argentina, despite its divisions. Peronist governments, characterized by semi-protectionism and public spending, implemented subsidies and welfare programs to enhance accessibility. However, this approach, including devaluation of the peso and increased duties on imports, created economic complexities. While these measures aimed to contain inflation, critics argue they limited foreign investment and eroded the currency's power, creating a political and economic landscape with opposing effects. Presidents eventually recognized the need for diversification during 15 years of austerity and reduced imports. The government supported the birth of the national manufacturing sector, converting spaces to agriculture, increasing national incomes, and enabling urban dwellers to afford cars. However, problems emerged during World War II due to a lack of imports from the UK, leading to economic crisis, unemployment, and riots. In 1943, Juan Domingo Perón's coup marked a turning point in Argentina's economic history. As president, Perón implemented unprecedented measures, nationalizing industries, initiating a 5-year plan, and improving living conditions. Peronism, a dominant political ideology, faces divisions but leverages public spending and semi-protectionism. Peronist governments implement subsidies and welfare programs, while Buenos Aires relies on devaluation and increased duties. Critics argue these policies limit foreign investment and erode the currency's power. Notably, Argentina declared its third bank bust in 1951, leading to a series of economic challenges. Perón's successors continued with customs duties and devaluation, leading to economic development but increasing state debt. In 1973, Juan Perón's return as president saw inflation reaching 5,000%. A military junta attempted to restore the economy but faced challenges from local industries weakened by Peronism. The abrupt shift towards a free market caused economic turmoil, and in 1982, Argentina declared its fifth bankruptcy. Subsequent presidents, including Raúl Alfonsín and Carlos Menem, struggled with economic crisis, inflation, and IMF agreements. Menem embraced liberal policies, privatizing key sectors and eliminating limits on foreign investments, contributing to the complex economic landscape that persists in Argentina. Furthermore, in 1991, Finance Minister Domingo Cavallo pegged the peso's value to the US dollar. This move prevented the Central Bank of Argentina from printing more currency than it had in dollar reserves. Essentially, 1 peso equaled $1, ensuring zero risk of inflation. Argentines, embracing the stability, started using dollars for transactions, sparking a modest economic growth. During the 1990s, Argentina experienced a prosperous period, aided by an IMF plan. However, Buenos Aires continued its tradition of accumulating debt. By 1997, the debt had soared to 300% of GDP. Challenges arose when Mexico and Brazil, crucial trading partners, faced economic crisis in 1997 to 1999, causing a sudden halt in exports and putting Argentina into recession. President Menem responded by cutting public spending but couldn't devalue the peso due to legal ties to the dollar's value. Domestic demand dropped, leading to increased poverty rates, up to 30%, and Buenos Aires struggled to repay its massive debts. In 2000, Menem's successor, Fernando de la Rúa, sought IMF help but faced conditions impossible to meet amid the ongoing economic crisis. In 2001, the IMF withdrew its loan, triggering a financial collapse. Panicked Argentine citizens began sending their money abroad. De la Rúa, in a desperate move, froze bank accounts, leading to nationwide protests. The economic challenges intensified with the arrival of the coronavirus pandemic and the global recession, emphasizing the vulnerabilities of a hyper-globalized world. In May 2020, the newly elected Alberto Fernandez faced challenges as he couldn't reach an agreement with 5 investment funds demanding a refund of $500 million. This situation raised concerns about a potential 10th default for Argentina. To address financial woes, Finance Minister Sergio Massa initiated 14 targeted devaluations in specific sectors. Notable among these is the soybean dollar to boost legume exports and increase foreign exchange reserves, the Qatar dollar named after Argentines visiting Qatar for the 2022 World Cup, and the Coldplay dollar related to concerts held in Argentina. However, Argentina grapples with critical issues, including pervasive corruption that erodes trust among citizens and foreign investors. Historically considered one of the most corrupt nations, Argentina faced challenges during the infamous decade of electoral anomalies and political turmoil from 1930 to 1943. Instances like the corruption within Argentina's electricity company during Juan Perón's era exemplify the country's historical struggle with corruption. Additionally, long periods of political instability, marked by coups, government changes, and violent repression, have hindered Argentina's development. The country's fate seems uncertain, caught between state intervention, semi-Peronist protectionism, repeated devaluations, and the uncertainties of unbridled liberalism and deregulation. The paradoxical nature of Argentina's economic challenges leaves observers questioning the effectiveness of various policy approaches. The phrase per aspera ad astra, through difficulties to the stars, aptly captures the enduring challenges faced by Argentina in its quest for prosperity. Now, we want to hear from you. What path can Argentina take to achieve sustained economic stability and prosperity, considering its historical struggles and the paradoxical nature of its economic landscape? If you found this discussion valuable, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and for more in-depth insights and analyses, subscribe to our channel.